We just go according to what society tells you. It's programming. You're programmed to think like this. You're programmed to buy this. You're programmed to want this. You're programmed like... I'm literally in the process of breaking all my programming. Like, I want to move outside of America. I just look at cost of living. I look at the rat race. I look at this, that, and the third. Like, okay, you telling me I only need $2,000 to $3,000 a month to live great in these other countries? Why the fuck am I still here?
Right. I mean, that's valid.
I can go live like a king for $5,000 to $10,000 a month in another country. I can go to Thailand. I can go to Kenya. I can go to the Philippines. I can go to DR. I can go to Mexico.
This is supposed to be the American dream.
This is the American dream is to move out this bitch.
I don't do the most, but I do a lot. I'ma make a toast, cause we still alive. No big, I feel like Pac. I shoot a shot.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Real People and Real Estate Podcast, where we talk about the real shit and not about real estate. I'm one of your hosts, Brooke Jones, aka the Millennial Agent.
What's up, guys? It's your girl, Tyra Nicole.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. And I am Nicole Pay. And today we have real estate and stock market investor and the owner of Ultimate Hair Company, Mr. Malcomb. See, I messed it up. Mr. Malcomb. I practiced so many times. Mr. Malcomb Kayson, welcome. I still wanted to make your name sound like Kayson.
I feel like I'm a designer label.
I needed it to sound like that. Malcomb Kayson. It like rolls off your tongue, but it sounds so like powerful. Which you are powerful.
Need to be a brand or something.
I think you kind of are a brand. So let's get into it, because we were talking about, we kind of dove into hot topics before we were supposed to. And I really
someone has
go ahead.
A hot topic.
Oh, you're talking about Will Pay over there?
Yeah, Will Pay.
Do you have a hot topic?
Yes.
I'm ready for it.
A lot of people are being brought about to real indigenous Americans.
Okay.
And my wife and I had a conversation a couple nights ago.
Oh, jeez.
And she didn't know that Abraham Lincoln and George Washington
is black.
Were Swarthy.
I didn't know that.
Which was black.
Wait, what? Okay, listen. I went down a rabbit hole, a deep rabbit hole, and he kept saying to me, don't do it. And but he already put it in, it was already in there. So I couldn't stop. So Swarthy, is that the word?
Swarthy.
Swarthy is the word. If you look up the word Swarthy, it means of dark skin complexion.
Tall, dark, and handsome.
Tall, dark. No, it's like dark complected. Like, I don't know if it means tall, dark, and handsome. We'll just say.
He comes up with his own.
He does. Mr. Everything comes up with his own definitions. But it does mean tall and dark skin complexion. Uh-huh. And if you go even to Wikipedia, George Washington says that he was of Swarthy. He was a Swarthy man. Mm. And then they switched it, and they were talking about how he, what was it, babe? Because I'm going to have to look it up and I don't have my phone.
Sometimes Swarthy also means handsome.
Handsome. Oh. So they totally did a 360 on it, the hijack on Wikipedia. But if you look up Swarthy, I just typed in the word Swarthy, and George Washington piped right up. Like Swarthy, George Washington.
But I thought Barack Obama was our first black president.
Well, that's the hijack. He really wasn't. If you go back and you just have to type in the word Swarthy.
There was actually a few other black presidents. He wasn't the only.
He wasn't the only. Abe Lincoln was also considered Swarthy, really? And it's amazing to me.
One more other one too.
Do you know who it was? You can't think of it. Those two were the one that came up in it's an easy Google search, and I was blown away, and I really did go down the rabbit hole with it, because they completely changed what he looked like.
Huh. Whitewashed.
They whitewashed. I wasn't going to say that.
Yeah, probably was easy back then to do that, because we had black and white pictures.
Yeah, it really was, but they used the word Swarthy to describe him in so many different articles. Even Wikipedia does, but his picture does not depict that.
They strategically do that stuff all the time. Even
absolutely.
You see what they said about Jesus.
Yeah, that's what I was about to
say. That's the other thing. Jesus would be another one, but I did really go down this rabbit hole. It's a deep rabbit hole about how they say Barack Obama was our first, and then you always get the people you're crazy conspiracy theorist. But all you have to do is type his name and that word, and then if you look up that word's definition, comes up every time someone talks about him.
Huh.
Yeah, that was our rabbit hole. We actually did that. What was it, Monday night?
Yes.
And our daughter, our 11-year-old daughter, was with us, and we went down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
So that was our that's a good not bad hot topic.
And what did you say that, what was it? You said it was someone said that? Or
What's that? What do you mean?
About this whole thing. What did you say?
Oh, no, I've been digging deep for a long time, so I know this stuff.
Okay.
And I'm just trying to wake her up to it.
Yeah.
Well, we're just trying to
Anybody I can.
Wake
even
everyone up.
connect
Correct.
the dots
It's a conversation of
yeah, like connecting the dots of it all, because
Yeah.
it's not something that is talked about. Because Barack
Yeah.
Obama was not our first black
So
president.
everything that we've been told is a lie.
absolutely.
Oh, we know that.
So everyone
Absolutely.
knows that.
We know
So-
that.
You're living in the
So that's
Matrix.
one of them.
Exactly.
And we are very, I hate the word woke, but we're a very woke panel. And we
Yeah.
talk about a lot of stuff. But one of the things that you were discussing with us before we even got on air was a situation in Kenya. And I really would like you to dive into that just a small, because you hear
don't know about that.
people don't know. Number one, obviously mainstream media is not going to talk about it.
Right.
But you had said you were going to spend the whole month of June there, correct?
Yeah, correct.
So what's going on over in Kenya?
So I'm not like super knowledgeable about it, but pretty much what's going on. It was a president that was supposed to either veto or approve a particular law, and he didn't. And it's a lot of protesting going on over there, where pretty much they are like protesting peacefully, but they brought the military in place, and you know that always escalate things. And then to right now, it's been at least like 40 to 50 Kenyans that have been killed from protesting, because they were supposed to be putting some type of law in place to raise the everything was going to go up in
Like inflation, like over here, like so much like inflation.
Correct.
So in that, he was supposed to veto it, and you
That's
don't
what I'm
know the
not-
logistics of it, or
Yeah. So pretty much he was supposed to like either stop it, but he didn't, and because he didn't want to take on the full heat of it. If he doesn't improve his, I guess the way the laws is over there, if he just lets it sit in limbo, it'll automatically get approved after so many days or weeks or something like that. And because of that situation, they're over there protesting because they don't want that. I mean, they're over there already, trying to survive and everything, and then they're trying to raise the cost of everything over there.
and so you were supposed to go over there for the whole month of June.
Yeah, I was going to be there the whole month of June.
And what
but
held you back?
Just I don't know. I've just been dealing with a few things that I have going on personally. My mother passed on my actual birthday, May 25th.
Oh, wow.
Our
sorry to hear that.
condolences. Sorry about to hear
and
that.
then, and I was just been dealing with that, and then just trying to, figure out, left from right, down from up, just going through the motions with that, and then somebody just telling me, like, I was going to, usually what I do when I deal with stuff, I just take a vacation and clear my head, but something was just telling me, like, just sit back, relax,
So how did you hear about it?
I've been to Kenya before, so
Okay.
I have a lot of people over there that I networked with while I was there, so they was sharing stuff, and then I was hearing stuff, so I tapped in with them to see what was going on, and they told me everything that was going on, and certain aspects.
Got it.
So what is it like in Kenya?
It's like see the mass media likes to portray all of these third world countries like they just like shit, but honestly, it's like here they don't have as much as we have, but they're just about there. Like they have literally all the amenities we have. They have great food. When I tell you the cost, over there to them, that's regular cost of living, but to us, like I literally went to a restaurant. I had like lobster, all type of seafood. I had steak. I had hookah. I had drinks. Literally over here, my bill would probably been like $300 something, maybe $4. My bill was $77.
Oh Lord,
Wow.
that sounds like a good night.
I know, right?
Yeah, I was just saying, I saw something on Instagram where they showed like what you can get in Kenya as far as real estate wise and the cost of it and everything you get for it. It was just like mind blowing.
Yeah, you can get like a 4-bed, 2-3 bath property over there for like $100,000, and it's nice, like
real nice.
Like
Yeah.
talking about brand new built, everything done. I mean, it's not. People try to paint these countries like they like super dangerous and everything is good. I mean, it's just like here. Honestly, here it's even worse.
I was gonna say, is it any different than here?
No,
They do
no.
that with the Dominican too. Like you go over there and it's like,
as long as you know the ins and outs of wherever you at or whatever you got going on, like, you're fine. So it's just like, okay, don't go to this area, don't do this, don't carry yourself and wear jewelry, don't do all that type of stuff. Just don't make yourself a target. Just like here, like, we in Detroit, so it's. I grew up on Detroit Road, so I know, like, okay, you gotta move a certain type of way.
I know we are gonna talk about that. Before we get into that, what I do want to know though, like, what was your tie to Kenya? Like, what made you want to be a part of that? Was there a tie somewhere that brought you there?
No, originally there was no tie. Like, I was just literally on Instagram, like, I kept seeing all of these different things about the real estate prices there, and I started doing some research and looking it up, and it was like, okay, well, the mother of my child, she wanted to give me a Christmas gift or whatever. I'm like, shoot, just buy me a flight to Kenya.
I mean, that's one hell of a Christmas gift.
Yeah. She got a nice gift as well. But
okay, did you hear it? Flight to Kenya, Christmas gift. Check.
So, we went to Kenya. Well, I went to Kenya. And,
so she did get you that gift?
Yeah, she got me that gift. So I went there literally in January. Christmas was December. So I went there in January. I did some networking prior to getting there. That's the special thing about online. You can connect with people before you even.
Right.
So I did some networking before I got there. Then when I got there, prior to that, I found the Airbnb. I did some research and found out what's the safe areas. What's the best areas to be in? So it's this area called the Westlands. That's like the uppity area. So I got an Airbnb there, and I just went from there. Like, as far as the restaurants, I just, one thing about me, like, I'm kind of a loner. So, like, I go somewhere by myself with no problem.
Okay. So you went by yourself?
I went by myself. Okay. First time there by myself, and I just figured it out.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool. So how long did you stay when you went that time?
About 9 days.
Oh, wow.
What's the flight different? Like,
about 20, but anywhere between 22 to 24 hours.
Long ass flight.
That is 24 hours?
That's a long ass flight.
Did you have a layover?
Yeah.
Where?
I mean, but still.
My layover was in, what's the place where they got the red light district and
Amsterdam.
Okay.
Oh, got it. Okay.
That's where
That's a great place to have a layover.
I was gonna say, if you're gonna have a layover, if you're gonna layover anywhere, Amsterdam is the place to have it.
Amsterdam is actually not that far of a flight.
Yeah, the thing is, when I got there, I think the
really.
It's like, I don't know. It's like
it was like 10 hours.
Like, I know it's like less than 10 hours.
That's a long ass time to be on an airplane.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
The key is to take an edible.
Is that what it is? So you just sleep the whole way?
Sleep the whole way.
It won't make you anxious?
I feel like it would make me anxious.
They tell me to sleep. You take a.
I don't know.
Too much.
Don't eat half a corner, will they?
Put you down. I ain't gonna tell you how to bring them with you.
Okay. Well, we need to know now because we can't take it.
That'll be an after hours conversation.
Before you go, but I ain't gonna tell you how to bring them with you.
Okay. Well,
I actually was just listening to the radio station the other day, and they were talking about like people trying to bring breast milk or whatever on the plane with them, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's legal.
A girl says she brought all of her breast milk, and the
Please
security.
Don't tell me they dumped it out.
No, they tested every single bottle and ruined it. Contaminated every single bottle.
What?
Oh, wow.
I'd be pissed because that is
then you have to dump all the milk out.
You have to dump all the milk.
Anything that's liquid, usually when you go in certain countries like that.
I mean, you can't tell me that we are not in a state of living right now that if you have breast milk, especially as a woman, that you can't figure out a way or there's some type of system for you to go through to get that onto a plane?
It's like if you're going out of the country, like you're gonna have to get that milk out.
It hurts.
I don't know if you guys understand.
When you are engorged, I mean, you won't understand. But when you are engorged and that shit hurts, it has to come out. It has to come out one way or another, especially. Yeah. So I'd be pissed because even pumping that amount of milk. Hoo-wee, you'd have me. I'd be on a mother rage.
See, I didn't even get to experience, that with my child because my child was a micro preemie. She was born at 25 weeks.
Oh, no way.
Oh, wow.
The mother of my child didn't get to fully develop, all that stuff, so she couldn't breastfeed.
But she was okay.
Yeah, my daughter is.
That's a blessing.
Now. Yeah,
It is a blessing. And you know what? One thing that I'm a breast cancer survivor, so I only nursed the first out of my 4 because I couldn't, and I didn't even know until our 4th child that there's like breast milk donors.
Yeah.
That you can. Our third one.
Third child.
Well, it was technically our 4th, because Dominic was breastfed and then the other.
Oh, I
yeah. So technically our last child, and so for our son, insurance pays for it. There's breast milk donors. You can have it tested. They have to go through all this testing. They insurance pays for all the blood testing, all this and all that. They pay for a certain amount of milk, and our Liam was breastfed with milk from one donor for the first 6-7 months of his life. Was straight breast milk from somebody else.
I did.
I didn't even know that existed. Like the hospital looked at us like we were crazy.
But
Like
I wish I would've knew that.
we took. They don't talk about
What's
it.
crazy is that, and this is nothing bad about my city. I love my city, but they try to capitalize off of
Oh yeah.
breast milk
They
situations.
did.
So Detroit, what is it called? Breast milk bank or something like
The
that?
banker. There's a specific breast milk.
Breast milk, huh?
So
They do.
So they charge like
$1,500 for 2 weeks of breast milk.
What?
$1,500. So we are in the wrong industry, is what we're saying. They did. They tried to charge us $1,500 for 2 weeks worth. And there's forums and stuff.
There's moms that they sell it for a lot less. Like we got it for 50 cents an ounce.
50 cents an ounce or something like that.
I'm about to be trafficking breast.
I know, right? We are about to change the industry. But we did, some women I know we're on a complete sidetrack topic, but it's something I feel
very
like.
informative.
It is very informative. But some women are overproducers and they produce more than what their baby. So they freeze. It is. It is. So they freeze it. And what did we get? 1,100 or 1,500 ounces from our donor that were all frozen. We took coolers and we bought a deep freezer.
$300 for all of that.
We bought a specific months. We bought a deep freezer for our son, and it was only breast milk in there, and that's what and then it's crazy, but nobody talks about. We took it to the hospital, and the nurse looked at me, and I was like, "Well, I have breast milk. Can you thaw it?" And she looked at me, and she's like, What am I supposed to do? She's like, I've never had anyone come to me and ask me this. And I said, that's a problem. Because you should be talking about this, especially as nurses, you should learn this. So on another note, we got off topic on that with breast milk donation. But it's a huge industry. It's a huge industry, and they try to capitalize off it very much. Right.
Hey, let's talk.
It's really hard to get the milk, though. It's like not every woman can do that.
Exactly.
And you can't do it for more than a certain amount of months, right?
And the milk only lasts for a certain amount of time.
To XYZ country.
Kenya.
You don't even have to go, but listen.
Give me X amount of breast milk.
You don't even have to go to another country. There's women here who are overproducers, and they throw that away. There's so much breast milk.
Cheaper. You gotta treat this like a drug.
Is that what it is? Okay, well,
no, but they're gonna test your breast milk on the plane.
We did it all wrong, and then contaminate
ways
it.
to make it happen. You smuggle it over.
I mean,
oh my gosh.
put it in tampon. What do they put it in
holders?
tampon holders and just.
Disclose.
We ain't gonna talk about how we're gonna get it here, but it's a huge industry, and I think that people need to talk about it more because there are women like me who had breast cancer, and you cannot nurse, and I did not nurse two out of my 4 were lucky enough to have breast milk. But I will say it's a huge industry and one that people try to capitalize off a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, are you taking some notes on it? Listen, we did it for 6 months. We have all the notes you ever need. We will talk about this after hours. But enough about breast milk and breastfeeding and how we're gonna smuggle it into the country. Let's go back to your childhood.
Yeah.
You said you grew up on Joy Road. Let's talk about it.
It reminds me of what's that song?
attention.
What song?
Road, this and that, come up with the free, or is it?
It's
T Grizzly.
T Grizzly.
Oh, T.
Which exit is it? Exit.
Exit 9.
Exit
Is it exit 9? All
I
right.
didn't want to say the wrong thing.
I know, we didn't want to say the wrong exit.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
First day out.
so let's
T
talk.
Grizzly.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about exit 9.
Exit 9.
Okay, so I pretty much had like the best of, I ain't gonna say best of both worlds, but I pretty much had two worlds. So being that my dad, entrepreneur, businessman, so on one aspect I had entrepreneurship, showing me that I can make my own money without,
And just so everybody knows,
I just wanted to say, I was just going to say that.
My dad, Billy Kason, legend in Detroit, Michigan, owner of Hair Designer Magazine, Miss Silky Smooth Products, and been doing this thing for a long time. I wouldn't be the man I am today if it wasn't for him.
Shout out to him.
Yes, shout out to him.
I had two worlds, it's so crazy because I'm a Gemini, so it's like, multiple.
Oh, yeah, multiple
Gemini.
personalities.
When's your birthday?
May 25th is my birthday.
May 25th, so you're a Gemini. We have a Gemini June 8th. Oh, them Gemini boys.
We the best.
Woo!
We
I don't know about that.
The best. Shout out to Jay, just walked in.
Yeah, Jason Sash just walked in over here.
That's my Gemini brother right there.
Yeah, they're the best. Okay, well.
We are the
He's
best.
our last one, and he is the reason there's no more.
Oh, Liam's a Gemini?
Liam's June 8th. He's a Gemini.
Oh.
Yeah.
Multiple personalities?
Whoo. He's a spitfire.
We're multifaceted.
Is that what it is?
And you have to appreciate that because so many people see things one way. We can see things 5, 6 different ways.
Are you listening to this, Will Pay?
Yes, I'm listening.
About our Gemini boy?
So we can understand things that most people can't. Like some people just got one track mind, so we can see things 6 different ways.
Well, he's only 3 and we're already into it. So
okay, all right. So go ahead with the story.
I'm about to say back on subject. So
yeah.
In one aspect on my mother's side, my grandma raised me. So my grandma raised me. I lived with her when she stayed off of Joy Road and Brea, which now that's one of my properties. But so. I had the street life pretty much on my mother's side. I, grew up on Dre Road, product environment, hit licks, sell drugs, do this, do that. And, that's where I came from. So, and then on my dad's side, which is entrepreneurship, it was start a business, make stuff happen on your own. Like, you ain't got to go get a job to make money. Mm-hmm. So it was just like I was always like in between. Like, okay, I had the street life on one aspect, which I used to do whatever I did in the street life, and then I used to work with my dad. So I worked with my dad on the entrepreneur aspect. So then, fast forward, I left all the street stuff behind. So I left that stuff behind and I realized, like I don't need that. And a lot of people that I grew up with is literally dead or in jail.
What made you
I was just gonna say go ahead.
What made you go that route, entrepreneurship? Was there like a specific thing that happened when you were
No, I just wanted better for myself. I was growing up, becoming more wiser, and it's just like, okay, like I don't want to be like these dudes. I want to be this dude. Mm-hmm. So,
where was your dad at? Like, where was he living at this point?
He was still living in Detroit.
Oh, so he was still in Detroit.
Yeah, he was in Detroit. He stayed in, the 48221 area, which was a great area, which was where I bought my first investment property.
Okay.
Always had a thing for that area. I knew it would be a good investment, while everything was recovering and all of that type of stuff. So that's where I bought literally my first property.
And when was that?
That was, I believe, in 2015.
2015.
So what was it like growing up as a child, Joy Road?
Like I said, I basically lived 2 lives. So I had my street life, if we talking like teens, I had my street life. I, had, don't get me wrong. I lived a nice, cool, kid-friendly life up until my teens. So, I was like, neighborhood, we playing hide and seek, we playing tag, we running around. Like, the neighborhood was a neighborhood back then. And then there was a shift where,
When did that transition start? Like in your teenage years?
I honestly can't pinpoint it, but, it was just, I just know going into my teens, it was like, all right, now people was getting, rob, motherfuckers are selling drugs, they doing this, they doing that. So it was like you gotta move a lot different. Like you can't be out here running around playing haggle. Yeah. You might get shot.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to think like how you said the same people that you were doing this as a young child, like you said there was a shift that all of a sudden in your teens things changed. And at what point was the same crowd you were running around with, when you separated yourself, how did that transition go? Because that's not always accepted for you to start living a different lifestyle.
I mean, well, I wasn't like in a gang or nothing. So
well, no, I'm just saying even your friends. You don't have to be a gang, but even now as adults, when you start separating yourself from people who aren't living the same life that you are or aren't bringing you up to where you want to be, that's a shift. And, and it's not easy sometimes.
It gradually happened. I mean, one thing about me, I'm not like I am very logical. I'm not a super emotional person. So it's just like, I knew I wanted better for myself. And it's just like, they were still doing what they was doing. So it's like, they still clap for me. Like, they clap for me from a distance. Like, even to this day, like, the ones that still not, like, dead or in jail, like, they're like, man, Malcomb doing this thing. Like, I love it. They still in the streets, though. But, they definitely congratulate me on everything I'm doing. We just got to keep it at a distance. It's one thing, one thing about elevation, sometimes it requires separation. Like, you got
That's so true.
A certain type of way.
Definitely.
So you said your dad was in the hair business?
Yeah, my dad owned hair design. Well, he still owns it. Hair Designer Magazine.
Shout out to Hair Designer Magazine.
Hair Designer Magazine. That was definitely like the when you wanted to look at magazines before social media and all that stuff was popping. You looked at magazines. You went to hair salons or the beauty supplies or wherever you was at. You wanted the hairstyle. Hair Designer Magazine was definitely where it was at, and all the top hairstylists from Detroit, Michigan, and some even out the state, all advertised in the magazine, and it was really a big thing. It was really a big thing before social media, came into play.
I miss those days because it was like you go to the hair salon,
excited.
and that was the thing. Like you get the book and then you pick out your
hairstyle. Oh my god, that brings me back, dude.
Or even like waiting for the mail to come because you knew every month what day your magazine came in the mail, and you would wait for it, and you'd be like, "Yes, my magazine's there."
You want to know what's crazy though? With the hair magazine, this is completely off topic. With the hair magazine, you had so many dudes in jail that was ordering the magazine.
Stop it, really?
The women that was in the magazine.
I never thought about that.
You're lying.
Literally, we was sending magazines to
jail.
Yes.
I would be curious to know how that went over.
Calling the women and trying to hook up with the women.
How would he get their numbers?
My God.
And some of them actually hooked up.
I was saying, how's that going to work out,
though? Made a lot of sales from like people from jail.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like a big majority, but it was like,
I just need to understand how that works out. Like, hey, baby, let's go on a date in 6 years when I get out. Like,
you'll be surprised.
How does that work?
A lot of women like jail dudes.
Really?
For sure.
I mean,
okay, so did your dad make you like work as a kid and help him?
Yeah, definitely. I was a working kid, which I appreciate to this day because I know the value of $1. I know what it takes, hard work and doing things. So like I never expected like handouts and things of that nature. It was always just you. If you want something, you got to work for it.
Yeah.
So like I just said in the beginning, I wouldn't be the man I am today if it wasn't for him.
So what do you make you do?
So pretty much the way the business was set up, like people would advertise, and a lot of them would make weekly payments, to advertise a magazine. So we would go around to the businesses and the stylists and all that type of stuff, and I would basically be taking the payments, writing the receipts, and things of that nature. And me doing that, I accumulated a lot of relationships with the hair industry.
That's awesome.
At what
I say that's like old school before like Zelle, Venmo.
What age? I've been doing this as a kid.
Wow.
8 years old, getting payments.
I didn't. Like, people still see me to this day. Like, man, I remember you was a kid carrying the briefcase or pulling the briefcase and all that type of stuff. And it was like now, like. It's crazy because, like, the business I'm in right now, a lot of people that know me know the business I'm in now, but the outsiders don't be knowing me because it's just like I created a brand where I can just sit back, relax, and it don't revolve around me, which is something I also learned from my dad because he had to always go out here and chase the money. I wanted the money to come to me.
Yeah.
So I got into it to where my brand stands on its own, which, Ultimate Hair Company, we sell hair extensions and wigs and or things of that nature. So I got into that, and literally, like, I can sit at home and my money come to me. But
So when did you decide, like, I'm gonna start a hair company?
all right, so let me give you the backstory. So me and my dad eventually had a little situation where we parted ways. I started my own magazine. It was successful. I had to think about like 7 or 8 different issues, like as far as different magazines that came out, and people were liking me. I was the new flavor. It was called Detroit Spotlight magazine. I had a lot of people advertising the magazine. People liked it. I came, high quality magazine, and I pretty much got who I wanted in the magazine. Like, I was very selective on who I dealt with. So a lot of people liked it. It was great. And then, Facebook was like gradually picking up, and then Instagram came along. So I seen the shift. I'm like, okay, so I seen it in advance. I was, doing magazine, and then I had actually got I had 2 side jobs besides my magazine. I used to work at a plant, Detroit Manufacturing Systems, which is DMS, and then I was a day shift manager at a strip club. So
Okay.
I was Jamaican at the time, but I
You said you were Jamaican.
I like to work. I wanted to make money.
I just think that's hilarious. That's a great analogy.
I can work 24/7. I didn't care.
Okay.
So I was doing that, and then I had started my hair business because there's one dude I know. I ain't gonna say his name, but he was in the selling hair industry prior to me. I was trying to invest in him, but he stamped me. He's like, no, I'm good. He ain't want to do business with me. So I'm like, all right, but I still want to.
It was competition.
It wasn't. I wasn't trying to make it competition initially because I'm all about teamwork, make the dream work. But a lot of people get that mindset. So he was basically, waving me off. So I'm like, okay, I still want to get in this business. So I did my homework. I stayed consistent in it. I tried out different suppliers, manufacturers. I was doing this, I was doing that to find, good suppliers, and I stayed at it to where I found good product. I started out the trunk of my car. I was making deliveries, meeting with people, selling hair, hair on the web, the hair women sew in or make wigs with, stuff like that. So I started off with that. Everybody started, I went through my trial and error. Don't get me wrong, I didn't start off perfect. I went through trial and error, trying out different suppliers, and then
So just to be clear, what kind of hair?
Virgin hair.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. So virgin hair,
like human hair.
Yeah, virgin human hair, quote unquote Brazilian, Malaysian, all that type of stuff people don't want to label it as, but I ain't gonna get into all that. But that's what I was selling. So started from there, and then I was still working the job at the time, so I came into a fork in the road where it was like, okay, do you want to work at this job where you making literally nothing? You making money.
There's a different amount of money.
Yeah, the thing is, I was working at a job, but I had times where I made in the day what I would make in a week at the job.
Right.
So I'm just like, okay, shout out to Chrysler because I was trying to get in at Chrysler Toledo, and I didn't get in. That was the best thing that ever happened to me because I was supposed to get in at Chrysler Toledo. I didn't get in, and then I went full-fledged on my business. And my business, I am, I don't got no money, y'all. I am a self-made millionaire today based off
due to
of me taking my business.
You're not the first person who said that. Trust
Was there
me,
a reason why you didn't get into Chrysler?
Shout out to Chrysler.
Was there a reason you didn't get into Chrysler?
No, they was just, I felt like I did a good job. They was just being some
The
dicks.
process is ridiculous.
I did all my tests. I did everything. They just,
you have to take so many tests. It's ridiculous.
I don't know. Because they got so many people, like they can hand pick who they want.
Well, because you got to understand too, we lived in like the Motor City, so everybody wanted to be in the plan, so everybody was applying
Yeah.
and wanted to be a part of that life, and it's really
But
not
the crazy
that
thing
life.
is if I probably would have got in, I can't say if this would have actually happened, but if I would have got in, I probably wouldn't be who I am today.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because
So
I
it was
got
much
stuck.
more in your.
I mean, there's definitely a plan, and I do want to talk about, because we have so much that I would love to dive into with you, but I do want to talk about your daughter. So you had mentioned that your daughter was born a preemie.
Yep. Micro-preemie.
Is she your only child?
She is my only child.
She is your only child, and how old is she now?
She is now 3 years old.
3 years old.
She's
Oh,
when she
baby
was
girl.
born, she was born at 25 weeks, so she was 1 pound.
Oh,
Now
wow.
She is almost 40 pounds and
Thriving and living.
and tall. Like, she's literally getting my size. Like, her mom is only 5'2", and she's past half her mom's size.
Oh my gosh!
She's
And
over
she was
3 feet. Like,
What was that experience like, though, to hear the I don't say announcement, because it's not even an announcement, to hear the words that your child's mother is going into labor at 25 weeks?
It was stressful as hell.
Yeah.
Like, I was literally like, it was definitely like, I was scared. I was scared because it was like, this is my child. Like, I was already scared prior to having a child. That's the reason I didn't have a child. Like, I'm 34 now. It's been multiple opportunities I could have. You had a child prior to having my
Shout
child.
out to a 34. What?
34-year-old
Multi-millionaire
Yeah.
with one child. I mean,
I
there's
ain't bought tired.
that.
I'm just only a little worth of
Okay.
money.
You
remember he ain't
I
got no money.
millions. I ain't got no money.
He said that. He ain't got no money.
I'm broke. My money is tied up.
But yeah, shout out to that though. But yeah, go ahead.
Assets.
So
Sorry.
Assets.
she didn't naturally go into labor?
No, so okay, I'm gonna tell you how it went. So me
Well,
and
let's even go back. I was saying, are you going back further? Because I want to.
No, I'm going back to when my child was literally.
Well, how did you even meet her, or your?
We went to school together.
You went to school together. Okay.
High school. We went to high school together.
So your relationship is. Were
So
you?
what?
We,
High school sweetheart.
high school sweethearts.
Okay.
Definitely high school sweethearts.
okay, so let's go to that. Like, we want to hear a little bit about that. So high school sweethearts. Fast forward, you and your crazy teen years, because we heard about that.
Well,
I'm just asking.
it's multiple sweethearts, maybe.
I
Well,
mean,
I'm
I was
just-
definitely having fun doing my thing and all that type of stuff, but it was just like, she was the one that always stuck by me. And
Okay.
she stuck by me, I'm going, as a man, we go through changes, we go through situations, we go through life. And it's just like, the main thing about with us is just like, we're still trying to figure it out. So she's always been alongside me while I was trying to figure out. And I mean, don't get me wrong, it wasn't easy, and it still ain't easy. Like, I go through a lot of different emotions as far as what I want, trying to figure it out. You're dealing with human nature and what society wants you to be and all that type of stuff. So it's just like, but she stuck with me. She stuck with me. A lot of women, be like, oh, yeah, I'm mad, I'm leaving, and ain't going where I wanted to go. But she stuck with me through all that stuff, and then,
So for a man, is that what it is? Like a woman that sticks by you through
And we need to
everything? Does that
understand.
mean like a lot to a man?
It definitely means a lot because, you got to understand, like, if you're dealing with young men still trying to figure it out. Like, if we in our 20s, we don't know what the fuck we doing. We don't know. We still trying to figure out ourselves. Like, in the end, granted, I had my father in my life, but a lot of men didn't have a father, so they don't have a blueprint. They don't know what to do. They just looking at what they see on social media, looking at what's going on. So it's like they don't really know themselves. Like, they don't know how to actually be a man, because how to be a man comes from your father. If you don't know, if you ain't had your father in your life, you don't know how to be a man.
Yeah.
Unless you have
That's
father
a two-way
figure.
street too, because
Yeah,
even
with women
mother,
too.
like,
a lot of women
you can
don't.
have a mother in your life and still not know how to be a wife and a mother.
That's because of their existence prior to. Because a lot of women didn't see that feminine upbringing. It was to be tough.
The
I
hard,
gotta go work 2-3
I gotta do
jobs. So
everything.
they didn't raise the woman to be women. They raised the women to be men.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, you're a low key a man in certain
Basically.
aspects.
And is that not what a man? That's not what a man wants.
No. A real man can't deal with that. And it's so crazy because going through my life, I realized I identified like I truly need a real soft and feminine woman because, like, you know, when you're in your 20s, you're not really paying no attention.
Mm-hmm.
You living your life. You still, you know, you might be doing some bullshit, but like when you get older and you realize, you know, like, you know, you think about possibilities of marriage, you think about, you know, kids, you think about this, that, and the third. So it's just like, do you really want to be with this woman that acts all tough, masculine, talk to you crazy? Like, when you really identify who you are as a man, you can't really deal with that.
Yeah.
Like that.
It's crazy you being 34 and paying attention to that, man. You know what I mean? Like, it's amazing. Because myself, I'm 38. Forever age.
Forever age.
Naturally 44.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the men I talk to, me owning the barbershop, they all say the same thing. They do not want a masculine woman to make that forever woman. You know what I'm saying?
Because when you a real man,
I feel
you
like
can't.
I want to dive in this too.
Yeah,
When you a real man, you
I
can't-
really do want to dive into this minute, and I'm not trying to cut you off, and I want to dive in because someone once told me, and as men, there's men in this room, and I want to hear your input. Someone told me if a man hasn't figured out who he is by 35, he's never going to figure it out. And I don't know the realism of that, or I don't. Is that not like you're shaking your
I'm
head
not
no?
going to say
That's
a man should have a strong idea
Who he is
by
by 35, who he is.
He should have a strong idea.
Or what he wants.
But life is so many variables in life. Everything
Life
is
is
forever
life.
changing.
It is,
There's so
and
many
it
things
is.
going on.
And
So it's just like you gotta learn how to adapt, move, and shake. Like it's just like, you know, if you in a boxing match, you gotta know who you dealing
Right.
with. You gotta move
And
accordingly.
it's so funny that we're talking about this because my best friend and I actually had a conversation about this the other day, and we said that so many hurt people from situations broken. We'll say broken because like shit, I'm broken. Like I could sit and tell you my brokenness for years. So broken people don't heal themselves before they move on to the next person, and a broken person gets with another broken person, and then you create an even more broken situation.
That's what they
Those
attract.
people separate, and then they go out and meet somebody who may be semi-healed, and then they break people, and then you're just living in a
Broken world.
I'm not trying to be like negative about it, but it kind of is like, and like if you don't know what you want at a certain age.
Correct, but that's about if you don't know yourself. I think at 34, him knowing himself.
No, I commend that.
I'm not even gonna sit up here and say I got it all figured out.
Yeah.
I have a lot of ideas. I have a strong correlation with everything that I feel and things of that nature. I'm not gonna sit up here and say, oh, I have it all figured out, because you could be 50, 60 years old and still don't have it all figured out, but you have a more so strong opinion based off of how you are and just off of human nature. The problem is so many people, like, you know, we just go according to what society tells you.
That's
you know,
what it is, right there.
It's programming. Like,
Yeah.
literally, like, everything. You're programmed to think like this. You're programmed to buy this. You're programmed to want this. You're programmed, like, I'm literally in the process of breaking all my programming.
Yeah.
Like, I'm honestly, I want to move outside of America. Like, cause like, I just look at cost of living. I look at the rat race. I look at this, that, and the third. Like, okay, you telling me I only need $2,000 to $3,000 a month to live great in these other countries? Why the fuck am I still here?
Right. I mean, that's
I can
valid.
go live
That's
like
valid.
a king off of $5,000 to $10,000 a month in another country. I can go
Right.
to Thailand. I can go to Kenya. I can go to the Philippines. I can go to DR. I can go to Mexico. And you telling me I don't have to deal with none of
And
this
this
shit?
supposed to be the American dream.
The
This is
American dream
quote
is to move
unquote,
out this
is out
bitch.
there. So being that with your daughter's mother, then what is your relationship like now? Like you said, there's hardships. So if the loyalty has been there, what is your vision on your relationship with
me
her
and my
now?
child's mother are still in a relationship. We're still in a relationship. We go through our emotions. We trying to figure it out, but I'm a very genuine person. She always been solid. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, everybody paints their perfect picture in their head of how they want their woman to be and how they want their man to be, and we pretty much just trying to figure it out. So, but like, she's definitely not a bad person. She's a good person, and we just trying to figure it out.
Navigate. Navigate the real world. It's not easy. It's definitely not easy.
Definitely not, because you got Don't beat me up for this. You got women with their unrealistic expectations.
What you classify as unrealistic?
Well, also social media.
Perfect. Y'all want
There's
men
no
to be perfect.
perfection. That's
But
bullshit.
that's what y'all want.
That is
bullshit.
bullshit.
I mean, you saying that, but when it
So
comes
is that
down
like
to it,
a
y'all
stress
be wanting
on men because they feel like they have to be perfect for these females?
No, my only issue that I be having is appreciation and gratitude, because it's just like, social media just paints, the man's supposed to do X, Y, Z, this, that, and the third. Like, okay, I'm not giving you a multi-million-dollar lifestyle where you can go buy Chanel bags and all the bullshit you want, but I make your life easier. You don't have to deal with X, Y, Z bills. I mean, you might have some bills, but I make it to where you don't have as much stress as you would have alone.
But let's talk about social media for a minute. Let's really talk about it, because social media has made sex so available and easy that what makes it different for you to provide that but not want people to seek more? Like, there's always like that steak dangling in front of your eyes of wanting more.
You got to be in your A game, because I ain't gonna lie. Like, me being a man that I am, I mean, I don't know what y'all think, but I'm a decent looking guy. I'm attractive. I got some good things going on and all that type of stuff. So it's just like women throw themselves at me, and I ain't gonna lie. A man's nature is just like a lion in the jungle. You see meat, you gonna kill it. You gonna get it. You gonna kill that shit. And it's just like when you have a man that's in high demand, you have to make sure you're doing your job as a woman to make sure, like, okay, like, if I'm in need, I wanna kill this animal right here. But if you giving me the stuff I need, then I don't have to worry about that.
But this is
have
what,
you guys seen the
time
podcast?
out though.
Wait,
Time out. This is what, I'm gonna stop you right here, because you talked about a lion, and if we want to talk about lions, lions made for
It look like
life.
this getting personal.
No. People talk about lions lions made for life. I don't think people realize
And
that.
men do too. The only
They
thing
do?
is y'all will run them away.
Have you guys?
One thing about me.
Malcolm, one second, real
Wait a
quick.
minute, babe. Hold on.
Let each one of them address that.
Okay, let's talk. Let's talk about
Let
this.
each one of them address that statement.
Okay. So can I go first?
Okay, go.
Okay,
Go
so
ahead.
I love that people always talk about like the lion and the nature and all this.
That's because men are actually animals.
I get that.
Yeah,
But lions,
I totally get that part.
I agree. I'm not disagreeing with
Fully
that.
agree.
And listen, lions run a pride, but lions mate for life. They're woman. And have
And
you
we will
seen?
too.
Have you seen them memes where the woman, like the lion, like tried to cuddle and the woman was
The
like,
woman is the one
like
that leads. The man don't lead the woman.
psycho about it? But that's my
That's
thing
true.
though. But we talk about this, and
But why do we
why
lead
do we
with the
always
question?
compare it to?
Y'all leave because y'all unrealistic. So y'all
we're
don't
unrealistic.
y'all don't want to accept a man's nature. A man can love you dearly. A man can want to take care of you. A man can want to be a family with you, but that doesn't escape
and
the
only
fact
you.
that I see this gazelle right here and I want to tear that motherfucker up. And it's throwing itself at
But
me.
that's-
literally
Well, hold on,
right
wait,
there.
because
Okay.
because he's listen. He's talking about the nature.
But that's
Now,
but
let
tearing up
Tyra-
a gazelle means you're providing for your family because you're
No.
bringing that meat back to your
No,
family.
what he's saying is that the nature is that the aggressive king to want to control, but gets what he wants, especially when he's not getting what he needs.
Exactly.
Oh,
So
okay,
if
that's
you-
your point.
If
Okay.
you're not
I get
doing
that
what
part.
you need to
Okay,
do
I
get
as
that
a
part.
woman,
I get
if
that
you're
part.
not doing what you need to do as a woman, you leave that door wide open.
So what about doing what you need to do as a man?
I do
He's
what I
already
need to do as a man.
he already said this is what I do. He's already doing what he's
So
doing.
what is it? What is
Okay,
it
wait.
as a man that
As
you're
a-
supposed to be
Okay,
doing?
let's be
Let's hear
realistic. If we're living together, once, like, because honestly, it's about teamwork make the dream work. Okay, so if we got all these bills, I'm gonna take on majority of what needs to be taken care of. If you're in the position to where you're making money, then okay, you take care of this little shit.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's what it is. But I take care of the majority. But if it's a point in life where you got to understand, you're dealing with men in progress. You're not dealing with some 50-year-old man that already had everything established and all that type of stuff. So in this economy, it's not realistic for a man to take on everything.
Okay, I understand that part.
And that's true, but I also want to say, like, if you're in a relationship with a woman in the state that we live in the social state that we live in now, let's say this. How can I word this? I'm just gonna say it because it is what it is.
It's a real
It is, and I want to say this like correctly. Like, we live in a culture that certain cultures, men don't want to be submissive to their women like we do.
A man not supposed to be fucking submissive
To a woman?
A man supposed to be submissive to his woman?
You don't think there's a point where a man should be somewhat submissive, like
respect?
Am I using the wrong word?
Respect.
Am I using the wrong word?
Respect.
Because I know, like, I am submissive to you, but I think it's too. So, am I using the wrong word?
Yes, you are.
Okay. So, clarify it for me. Because
even from a biblical standpoint, a man is supposed to respect while the woman,
so then respect.
submits.
So the woman submits and the man respects. But sometimes we live in a cultural world that not all men want to respect the woman that they're with.
But he just said why he separates himself from.
But that's why I was finishing.
He separates himself.
If you want to go from biblical standpoint, let's get real. Biblical standpoint, even the Bible knew that men were not supposed to be with one woman. That's why you had
I was literally about to say, we're about to get on the conversation.
Glasses off because I'm serious. I'm trying
Look.
Okay, yeah, he took the glasses off. He's serious.
Look, we're getting on the conversation of high-valued men, and this is what I'm talking about. Have you guys heard about those podcasts about high-valued men?
No, talk to me about that. What is high value?
Okay.
What is that? I don't know what that is. Can you explain that?
So a high value man, it's not even necessarily like, I mean, money does take a role in it, but I mean, it's just all about depending on the woman you deal with. A high value man, he has his stuff in order, credit in order, finances in order, probably has a house. I mean, he might not be 7-8 figures, but he's established and all that type of stuff. And a high value man is not about to deal with the shenanigans. Don't get me wrong, where a lot of women, I love y'all to death. I love y'all. But a lot of women, from women that work at Coney Island to women that don't have shit to women that might have a little something, they expect so much from a man. So it's just like, honestly, a real man doesn't care about what you have financially.
So then what does a man expect from a woman? Like, what is a high value? Like, that's like, so if we're looking for a high valued man, what is it?
They expect us to have babies for them.
No,
is that what it is?
That's one aspect.
Not
even that.
Well, I done did that. I had 4 of them.
Being soft.
Listen to what he said.
Listen.
Okay.
All
right.
We about to get some real shit right now.
Listen. Being soft,
being
feminine, not being combative, following his lead, because 2 people can't lead. So somebody has to be the captain of the ship. It can't be 2 captains. Somebody has to be the captain of the ship. So following his lead, listening to him, because I'll be real, I'll take a woman that listens to me over a woman with a bachelor's degree. Like that woman means nothing to me. At the end of the day, your money is your money. Your money is your money. Being a man, I'm not looking for you to give me no handout. So your money is always going to be your money. So I need a woman. If I can get a woman, just imagine me doing the shit that I'm doing and being able to multiply myself. So if I can get a woman that can listen and follow my lead, that's way more valuable than the woman that got his bachelor's degree that does what the fuck she want to do.
And it's so funny that you say that, because society twist it. Because like for me, I do have a bachelor's and I was in progress of my master's. My master's is almost finished, but we're ingrained in us that we're supposed to lead this woman life. Society, like, I'm supposed to be this person.
That's because they want your tax. They want to make taxes from you too. They want the women to work. So you got men making money and they paying taxes. Oh no, women sitting at home and not working. No, you gotta go to work too, motherfuckers. So we're going. We
and
want
that's
you
why
to work
we've lost like the one, but we've also lost the. It's not a one income family anymore.
Yeah, but it's all about structure and the way society dictates stuff. The one thing about staying in Michigan that's a benefit, you can go get a property and not spend 4, 5, 6, 700,000. You can go get a property for 50 to 75 to 100,000 in a decent area to where you not working to pay the fucking mortgage. So right now is really the time to get property because we're about to get there.
Yeah.
We're about to get there. So right now is the time to acquire property to where you can get a property to where if you can pay cash for it or almost get it free and clear, you know, payments, land contract, however you want to do it, and then because the thing is, what are people mostly working to pay? They're mostly working to pay their rent or mortgage and their car notes.
I was gonna say car notes
If you
are
can
so up there.
eliminate those two payments from the jump, house paid for, car paid for,
Shit.
you know,
Credit cards.
don't get me wrong, everybody want to keep up with the Joneses, go get a Benz, like this, that, and the third. But I'm self-made millionaire, and right now I'm driving a 2010 Toyota. Don't get me wrong, I had Lexuses, plural. I had Durango SRT and all this shit, but it's just when you understand the value of a dollar, you realize how stupid that shit
It is, yeah.
Because it's a depreciating
That's so
asset.
true.
You about to go spend $60,000 on this vehicle, and 5 years later, it's worth less than $30,000.
Well, it's like you said, keeping up with the Joneses. Like there's a level of a stature. Is that the word I'm looking for? So gosh, we could like talk about so much.
It's like,
so
We're getting the hand that we're at 0 minutes
Yeah.
left.
We are. So we're gonna wrap it up, and we usually ask like a couple final questions.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and steal the first question. And if you would tell your younger self something, what would that be?
Don't keep up with the Joneses, because I went through my phase. Like I literally I still have $100,000 in jewelry, all a bunch of bullshit. Like, don't keep up with the Joneses. Just sacrifice the instant gratification, invest, and just stay at the path you on. Like, fuck all the bullshit.
That's a good one.
So
Right.
my question for you is, tell us. I usually say, tell us your craziest real estate story.
I feel like this is gonna be a good one.
Say, tell us your craziest joy roads.
Oh shit!
Exit 9.
Can you though? Can you?
That shit is endless. I done been shot at. I done been all type of shit. I mean, it's just it's really endless as far as the story. I'm not gonna.
There's not
Craziest
one. There's
you
not
could think
one that
of,
like
a,
sticks
like a
out.
Childhood story.
I'm not going to incriminate myself. But
one that you could say on camera.
pretty much just dodging bullets. Like people literally like you in the hood, and either you shooting or somebody's shooting at you, and that's what it is.
Wow.
Like, just like
So just survival. No.
Survival.
Just survival. Like
Yeah.
that was a thing, and it was real shit. Like all the people I was around, they were older, so they gave me a little bit of game, but it was times where, people literally in the hood, literally with laser beams, literally. I'm not hypothetically speaking, like I'm talking about guns with beams on them. That type
God,
of
you
shit is
really
going
feel like
on.
you see that shit in the movies,
I
but it's like
remember,
real
I ain't
life.
gonna say his name, but a
Please
particular
don't.
dude had guns with beams. He was playing around, but this is how motherfuckers played in
play
my
like
hood.
that.
Like literally guns with beams on your ass. Like,
Wow.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning back into the Realest People in Real Estate podcast. Stay tuned for next week.
Malcolm, thank you so much for joining us.
I feel like we really scratched the surface.
We did. That's what I said. There's so much more that we could like dive
another
into.
episode,
We'll keep the audio. We'll keep the audio running.
And we have after hours.
We do.
So
We'll keep the
this
audio
isn't
running,
over.
and there might be more that you're going to hear about in a little bit. So definitely stay tuned for that.
All right.
Bye, y'all. See you next
Bye.
week.
This was PG-13.
All right.
Why is PG-13?
We was trying to get.
We were trying to get out of here. But
We
you
don't got enough time. I can go. We could talk for hours. Fucking
Yeah. I
That's
wanted
so
to
funny.
dig more deeper into the men and women.
I do, because we could like really, and Rob's not here to be in this conversation.
I
which
actually wanted to get into the investing aspect.
I know.
we
I
don't
really
we
wanted
don't,
to talk
we
about
don't talk
that.
about real estate, so you can
We'll
we
talk
can't
about
talk
real
about
estate,
that.
but we can talk about
We
it
can
after
talk about
hours.
But how did you invest?
Yeah,
we'll
we can't
ask
talk
you like
about
how did you
none
get
of
into investing? Like what was your?
So pretty much my hair business was going successful. I stacked up about $250,000, and then we just like, okay.
First of all, how did you do that?
Just through my hair business, saving, investing, like literally, I just was running it up, and I stacked up about literally 250,000. And was like, okay.
What was your strategy though? On
Did you have a plan, or
selling
were you
it?
just stacking money?
I
Did you know what you
necessarily have a
wanted?
plan. I just always knew keep expenses low. So like I was literally staying at an apartment off of 696 in Greenfield. You know, my rent was only like $800 a month. I didn't go crazy on the expenses or whatever, but I had got to a point where literally my first luxury purchase I had bought
Are we turning the bar lights on?
2015 Lexus RX. That was the first time I went and bought something. that was
Bar lights are on. These are the bar
How
lights.
aggressive is your, like, when you invest in your business, right? How aggressive will you invest?
I invest everything.
I love when I literally wish you guys would pop in more.
And she's always on me because she's
Once you have a for sure investment,
like, don't say that.
once you have a for sure investment, why you withholding
Being
yourself?
safe.
If you know this has a successful track record, you know this works, you know you're going to be good. What are you holding back for? Like,
Where would you get your hair from?